only 20 odd percent of the people. Hello, everyone. I believe you should be able to hear me now. Can you guys just use the poll and confirm if you can hear me? So I have just put up a poll. Can you guys please confirm if you can hear me clearly? Hello, everyone. Guys, can you guys confirm if you can hear me? Yeah, I can see now. Okay. So yeah, I was hoping that everyone can hear me. So I can see only about 20% of you have joined. So what I'll do, I'll wait for a couple of more minutes, then I'll start the session. So we'll start in couple of minutes. Okay. All right, guys. I don't see many of you. I mean, more people joining. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead with the session. Okay. Um, so I'll just give you a little idea. I mean, a brief introduction about myself. Before that, like you can see this session is about statistics. Okay, so what is our target is to understand statistics, and obviously when we say statistics, we'll take certain portion of it. Okay, and we're not going to get into very deep into it. Okay, as of now, we'll mainly cover a certain portion of it, which are basically um, mean, median, mode, and apart from that also we will cover standard deviation. Okay, what is apart from that, we have certain concept of quartile and all those things. That is something we're not going to cover in today's session. Okay, but in part of our course it's already there, so you can definitely use the free trial option and all. I'll talk about those things as well in details. Okay, so let me go through the little bit of introduction about myself. So I'm Shuvankar. I will be your host. I'm the quant lead in GMAT and Whiz and GRE Whiz. I have roughly around 10 years of experience. And now coming to this particular session, we'll divide the session into two parts. First part will be about the question, and the second part will be about uh, question and answer, which is basically if you have any doubt related to the session, or if you have any doubt related to your preparation or anything like that, you can definitely ask me in the latter part. But the initial part, we'll discuss about a little bit about the concept, and then we'll discuss some questions as well. Okay. Let me see if any more, yeah, a few more people joined. All right, so we'll get into the main part of it. So, what are the important topics we have? So, the important topics as of now, these are the topics we have. That is, we are going to discuss today: mean, median, mode, range, standard deviation, little bit of maximum minimization, and all. Apart from that, like I told you, there are certain things like quartile and all, which we are not going to cover in this particular session, but that is also there. Now, what exactly is mean? What do you mean by what is the meaning of the word mean? So obviously you guys may know it already. So mean is nothing but the arithmetic mean, or what we call as average. Okay, so it is the sum of the total elements by the total number of elements. Okay, and if I just take the what is the sum of total element, it will be mean into the total number of elements. So basically what I'm doing, I'm just cross multiplying. Okay, these small things which are there, and these are very important in case of GRE. Let us solve a couple of simple questions. Can you quickly answer this question, first question? And I'm not going to give you much time for this question, so you can just use the answer option quickly, solve this question, and tell me. First few questions will be a little bit of on the easier side. So yeah, don't worry, we'll get into relatively difficult level question. So can you just answer this particular question? A very simple one. So I'll not give you a lot of time to solve this. Can I get some answers? Okay, so I have got a few answers. I'll quickly go through this and then another topic, another question, and then I'll give you one more question on this. Okay, so it says obviously ACE is a set. If the mean of the above set is 7, then what is the value of X? So you know, how do I find it out? How do we find it out? We can just simply add all of them. 2 plus 5 plus 9 plus 7 plus X plus 10 divided by 6 terms are there, that is going to be 7 if mean of these terms are 7. So obviously I know these entire term. So if I just quickly add them, 2 plus 5 7, 16, 23, 33. So 33 plus X is going to be 42. So if I calculate X is going to be 9. Okay, a simple question. Okay, let's move to this particular question. I'll tell you why I have given you this couple of questions. Okay, can you try this particular one? Okay, so I have got few answers. Let me quickly give you the perspective why I have given this question. Although the question looks a very simple one, why I have given this question. The average weight of a class of 15 students is 48 kg. So what happens? I have 15 students. The average weight is 48 kg. Okay. If a new student join in 32 with 32 kg, what is the new average of the class? Now, just what possibly you guys have done is that you multiplied this. So this is the number of student. This is the weight. Now I have one more student who is having 32 kgs. And now since I have n plus 1, 16 people, so I'll divide this by 16 and I'll get the answer, right? So most possibly you have done in this way. Now let me give you a different perspective to this question. Okay. Now think about it. Okay, so I'm just giving you a different idea about this question. Okay, how we can think a little differently. Okay, now so to start with, so what you need to do, there is a there will be a poll, so you need to answer with answer using the poll option. Okay, you shouldn't, you need not to write anything here, you can just use the poll option. Now coming to this question, think about it. The average weight is 48 kg, but then a person joins whose weight is 32 kg. So can I say this person is joining with a less than the average? So the average must go down, right? So do you understand that part? The average must go down. Now just think about a scenario, hypothetical scenario. Suppose initially all the 15 people, they have 48 kg, 48 kg, 48 kg each. Okay. Now there is one person who joins. Okay, and that person joins with a 32 kgs. Now, suppose that person doesn't join with a 32 kgs. Suppose that person also joins with 48 kg. So, can you tell me if that person joins with 48 kg of weight, will there be any change in the average? You can use the chat box to tell me. What I'm saying, instead of 32 kg, had the weight been 48 kg, will there be any change in the average? You can use the chat box to tell me no, right? So there will be no change in the average. So it means, can I say the change is happening because there is a gap of 16 kg. So the person who should have come with the 48 kg is not coming with 48 kg. That person is coming with only, that person is coming with only 32 kg. So there is a gap of 16 kg. So that person is coming with 16 kg less for that group. So these 16 kgs will be equally divided. Now, how many people are there right now in the group? There were 15 people earlier. Now there is one more person. So there are 16 people. So can I say if 16 people are having 16 kg less in total, each person is having 1 kg less. So it means my answer is going to be 48 minus 1 equals to 47, which basically does, what exactly we do here is that we approach the question logically so that while reading the question itself, I can solve it without doing any kind of calculation. And obviously that way I can save time, which definitely can come handy. Okay, so for simple question, not a very difficult question, but mostly the simple or one-liner question, I can always think logically and get the question without even using pen and paper. So let me just give you this question again, explain this question again. Had the person come up with 48 kg, there is no change. Since there is a 16 kg less, that's why this 16 kg will be equally divided. And now how many people are there? 16 people are there. So 1 kg will be less from each person. That's why my answer is 48 minus 1. Okay. So this is one way you should definitely try to understand. So you can use the free trial option. If you want to go deep into this particular thing and have a couple of more examples, you can definitely do that. But this is definitely a good way to reduce time. Okay. Let me give you one more question on this line. Can you guys try this question? Take 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to solve this question and let me know what is your answer. Please use the poll to give answers. Oh, sorry. My bad. It will not be a poll. Just my bad. So what you can do, if you want to give the answer, use the. So you can see there are a couple of options. To admin only. So use the to admin only option to set the answer to me. So at least if once I get 50% of the answer, I'll move ahead. So I haven't got 50% of the answers. So I'll wait for 30 more seconds. Okay, I got few more answers as well. I'll give 10 more seconds. You can solve it any way. I mean, any which way you want. I'll give you both the ways, mathematical way as well as logical way. Since this is the just start of the session, so we are keeping the question to be a little bit on the easier side, just to drive home what is the point here. Okay, I'll wait for 5 more seconds. Okay, only couple of you haven't answered, so that's fine. I'll go ahead with that. Okay, most of you have got it correct. Okay, so let me quickly give you a couple of approach for this one. So again, you must have realized not a difficult question, definitely an easy one. Okay, the average weight of 13 monkeys in a zoo is k kg. So I can say this is the number and this is k kg. So 13 into k. A new monkey of weight 34 kg has joined. Okay, and the average weight of the monkey increased by 1. So I can say that currently the average weight is definitely. So what will be the average? So I can see there were 13 monkeys. So right now one more, so it will be 14, and the average is going to be k plus 1. So I can definitely solve for k and get the answer. So I'll do 13k plus 34 equals to 14k plus 14. If I take k to the other side, you'll get k equals to 20. Simple question, not very difficult, and not exactly, one will not need to do anything else apart from doing this. Okay, however, just to give you that idea that this question can also be done logically. So what you can think about here, there are 13 monkeys, right? And right now what will happen, there will be 14 monkeys when a new monkey joins, right? So I can say since the average is going up by 1, so all these 14 monkeys will need 41 kg extra. So they will definitely need 14 kgs so that the average goes up. So what will happen, the new monkey that comes with 34 kg, it will distribute 20 kg. It will keep 20 kg with itself, okay, as a K, and remaining 14 kg will be distributed among all the 14 monkeys. So you can see this monkey itself also has 21 kg right now. 20 plus 1 is distributed. So you can see how I'm getting this 20 number, because there are 34 kg came and each monkey needs 1 kg. So I just remove 34 minus 20 to get to the answer. Sorry, 34 minus 14 to get to the answer of 20. Okay, so 34 is the total and 14 is how many monkeys are there, and the each weight of each monkey is increasing by 1 kg. So I'm simply doing that calculation. So it's not 35 because it is not 35. I have already explained. So in case you have any doubt, you can definitely let me know. So you can use the mathematical expression or you can use the logic as well. Okay. So what we have done, we have discussed something on this line, how can distribution can be done, how we can effectively use the better formulas to solve question in such a scenario, because these kind of questions are common. One person is leaving, one person is joining, what will happen to the averages and all those things. Those are there in our course. Okay. Now let's move to the next part of it. Okay. And that part is nothing but median. So we are done with mean. Now we are moving into median, mode, range, all those stuff. Okay. So now what exactly is median? So to find out the median is basically the middle number. Now, what is the middle number? Does it really, I mean, what exactly should be the condition? Okay. So for that condition to find out the middle number, you must write them in a particular order, either ascending order or descending order. So if I give you a set of 1, 3, 2, 9, 7, something like that, you can, the median will be the middle number when I write them in ascending or descending order. So if I write them in this order, the middle number is 3, that is going to be the median. Okay. Now, so what exactly is the midpoint? How do I get the median value? So we can say median, how many terms are there? There are 5 terms here. You can see I have 5 terms. Since there are 5 terms, I need the median is the third term. It's easily, you can see it. That's the middle term. So how do I get the middle term? I just divide 5 plus 1 by 2. So this is the general formula we have, but this is the formula works when n is odd. Okay. Now, what happens when n is even? Okay. So when n is even, I need to find out which are those two middle numbers. So let me give you a series to understand this. So instead of this particular series that I have already told you, let me add another, say, 5 here. Okay. So what will happen if you write it in this way? 1, 2, 3. Then we'll write 5, 7, 9. So what is the middle number? Middle number is here. So you don't know which one is the middle number, right? So what you do, you find out the two numbers that are there in the middle and take the average of those two. Okay. So what are those two numbers? How do I find out this number and this number? For that, I need to do n minus 2. So you can see for 6 terms, n minus 2 is the third one, and n by 2 is the third one, and here it is n by 2 plus 1. Understand, it's not n plus 1 by 2. No, it's n by 2 plus 1. Okay. So n by 2 is third one plus 1. So it's the fourth one. So it's basically in between third one and fourth one. You can easily see that. So what is that in between 3 and 4? 5. So if it is these two terms, I'll just simply take average of these two terms and my answer will be 4. Had it been, if I just remove the number like this, if I keep it 3 here and if I put say 6 here, then in that such a scenario, my average would have been 3 plus 6 by 2, which is 4.5. Sorry, my median would have been this. Again, another simple question. Can you quickly answer this one? So soon after solving this question, we are going into the much more difficult level question. So this is just to give you, like I told you, you can say warm up just to understand how things work in mean, median, mode and range on those questions. Now we are going into a little bit of difficult question. Okay, first couple of question will be, I would say somewhere around 155 to 160 level, and then couple of question will be more than that. So a very easy question. I have already got couple of answers, quite a few answers. I'm just keeping the poll here. So I'll just go through this one. Easy question. You just need to do what? You need to write them in ascending order. So I'll do 2, 7, 5, 9, 10, 11, 13. What is there in the middle? The middle number is this. How do I know it's in the middle? There are odd terms. So 7 plus 1 by 2, fourth term is my answer. Okay, very simple one. Now, can you answer this one? So I'm putting the another poll for the next question. So can you just quickly answer this one? Okay, I have got half of the answers, but I will give actually more. I have got more answers. I'll give another. Uh, okay, I have almost got all the answers, so it's fine. So I'll just explain. So most of you have got it correct, so that's good. So what exactly is that trick here is that I don't know X. That's the first thing. I don't know which one is X or where is X. So what I'll do in such a scenario, I'll not bother about X to start with. So I'll write 1 and 1 first, then I'll write 8, 8, 8, and then I'll write 9. Now the scenario here is that there could be multiple scenarios possible. X could be a negative number or zero as well. They haven't mentioned anything. So X could come here. That's the first position. Or a second position, X could come here. Okay. Or the third scenario could be something like that, where X is basically coming after 8. Now, when I say after 8, why? Because it can be 8.5 as well, right? So it's not that they haven't mentioned anything like that. It's an integer or something like that. So that is also there. And the last scenario will be when X is more than all these numbers, right? Now understand, in any this scenario, how many terms are there? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven terms are there. So if there are seven terms, I am looking for the fourth term. Okay. So which is the fourth term here? One, two, three, four. This is the fourth term. What is the fourth term here? This is the fourth term. What is the fourth term here? This is the one. What is the fourth term here? This is the one. So in all this scenario, 8 is the fourth term. So finding out these scenarios are important to master quant section as such. It's not particularly related to median as such, but then in quant section of GRE, if you want to master it, you need to understand a few questions will be there where, especially the higher level question, 165 level questions will be there, where you will have to do and find out these scenarios and then find out the answer. Okay. Now let us get into some proper level question. So let's solve this particular question and then another question on mean, median, and range. Okay, so let's solve this question first. So the poll is up. You can use the poll to answer this one. Okay, I have got half of the answers. I'll give 30 more seconds. Okay, I have got a couple of more answers. All right. I think I have got most of the answers. Only a couple of few people, I mean, couple of people left, so that's fine. I'll go ahead. So, this question, again, not a difficult one. You just need to know the concept and you need to read the question carefully. Some of you haven't read the question carefully. Okay. From the answer option, at least for the first time, you haven't read it carefully. That is something I can definitely understand. It says that table shows the distribution of the number of goals scored by players in a league. For the players who had scored at least one goal, important, what is the median number of goals? So what is the median number of goals scored for the people who scored at least one goal? So number of goals, I'm talking about these people. So I need not to consider this. Now think how exactly basically this question look like. So it basically talks about there are 10 people, players who have scored one goal each. So they must have got one goal, like 10 players. So when this lot is done, then you will write two. These are the two goals for 11 players, right? So that's how the series will look like. Okay. So how many players I'm talking about here? So for my question, I'm talking about 10 plus 21 plus 11, 21 plus 13, 34, 43, 48, 51. So I am talking about 51 player. Since it is odd, what is the will be the median? So median will be 51 plus 1 by 2, which is 26th player. Now where is the 26th player? 10 people goes here, 11 player goes here, 21. Then another 5 people needed. So basically there will be 5%. The fifth person from this slot is the median. But since all of them are same, it doesn't matter which is that person. But I know that number is definitely 3. So my answer becomes D. So more than half of you got the answer, but this is something you should have done possibly to understand how this series look like. First thing, and the second thing, read the question carefully. So definitely do this thing is very important. Many questions, what happens? And an algebra question specifically, you they suppose there's an expression given in terms of a, you calculate the value of x and find it out. There is an expression given in terms of x, you calculate the value of x and find it out. But many times they give you the question like, what is 50% of a, what is half of a? 50%, still there is a number. So if there is a number, you can see it, but if it is written in words, it's very difficult to just scan through and find it out. That's why reading the question is very important. Okay, so do read the question carefully. Okay, so can I move ahead? Let me use the, anyone has any doubt till this? So there is a poll. Can I move ahead to the next question? Okay, perfect. The next part is mode and rings. Now, what exactly is mode? The mode is basically the most frequent number. Okay, so a few minutes back we have written 888. If you remember, there is one question we have written. So there 8 was the mode because it was the most frequent number. Okay, so let us talk about what is this particular set. So in when you see this set, you can see 7 is the only number written twice. And since this is only one number is written twice and the maximum term, so we call it, it has unimode. So unimode means only the one number will be written maximum number of times. So there could be another 7 as well. But if I just, instead of this, after that, if I write a 9, then it is no longer a unimode because 9 is written twice. 9 is there twice. So it is no longer a unimode. So what is multimode? Which obviously you understand has more than one mode. So something like this one. So here you can see there are 9 is appearing twice, 7 is appearing twice. Okay. Now what is no mode? So what happens if the data set doesn't have any mode? It basically means it doesn't have any repetition. So all the terms are identical, are distinct. Okay. So there is no identical terms. Okay. So the mode comes to the picture when we have identical terms. If there are no identical terms, then we can say there is no mode. Okay. Now, what is range? Range is basically simply the smallest term, greatest term minus the smallest term. So basically, it's the difference between the maximum and minimum values. Okay. So if you can just take a simple thing like that, you can find out that 13 is the maximum value. Uh, Maximum observation, 2 is the least one. So 13 minus 2, 11 is going to be the range. Okay. Let us solve an interesting question on this. Okay. If anyone can solve this question, then I would say that person has a definitely good grasp on this topic, this particular topic, and understand how exactly to be done. And do not use the chat box direct answer. What you can do, you can use so you can see there in the bottom part in the chat box, there is something written as to everybody and then to admin only. So what you can do, you can select the to admin only and give tell me what is your answer. Okay. So take time for this particular question because this is not a straightforward one. Take time, solve this question and let me know your answer. Just for a clarification purpose, enter the answer till one decimal place. It basically means you need to, the answer will come in fraction. So you need to write it something like 5.7, something like that. So if the answer is like 5.75, you need to write 5.7. 5 point, if the answer is 5.75, you need to write 5.8. Okay. If the answer is 5.72, then you need to write 5.7 in that way. So it should be xy point z, something like that. If you have got an integer, that's fine. So then you need to write, if you get something like say 15, then you write 15.0. So I have got only a couple of answers. Can I get few more answers? I'll give 1 more minute. I have got few more answers. 30 more seconds, guys. Uh, all right. I have got few answers. One is correct, but I haven't got many answers. Okay, so I'll go ahead with the solution then. Okay. So let me first discuss this question. This is I mean, if I say relatively difficult level question, obviously from the one we have done. So I need to understand how we do maximization and minimization. How should we think? First thing is that there are five distinct integers. So distinct integers important. The median of the set is an integer 20. So it means if I talk about five terms in ascending order, the middle term must be 20. So this is something is defined. Now think about it. If the range of all the numbers are 30, it means the maximum minus minimum is 30. So if I say this is the minimum is x, so definitely this is going to be x plus 30. Okay. Now, what is the highest possible average? Now, how do I increase the average? Do you understand the average will go up if I try to make all the terms as higher as possible? So I'll try to make each term as high as possible. Okay. Because if I need to make the average high, I need to make the summation high. If I need to make the summation high, I need to make each of them as high as possible. So now think about it. These couple of terms are definitely smaller than 20, but I need to make them as high as possible. So how much they can be? If these two terms, I know they are distinct, so definitely the just the term before 20 cannot be 20. The maximum it can be is 19. Similarly, the first term can maximum be 18. Now, once you understand this one, after that, it's pretty simple. So what I know, 18 is the smallest term, then 19, then 20. And after that, the biggest term, that will be dictated by my x plus 30, which is range of 30. So if x is 18, x plus 30 is 48. Now, what about this term? This term can be 21. This term can be 47 as well. Since I need to make it is as big as possible, so I'll put it as 47. So what will happen? My series will be 18 plus 19 plus 20 plus 47 plus 48 divided by 5. So when I add all of these numbers, I get 152 if I'm not wrong. 18, 19, 37, 57, 104, 152. 152 by 5. So obviously there is an easy way to multiply this as well. But then since calculator is allowed, you can do this, or you can do something like this. You can just multiply 2 to both the sides. So you will have 10 here. You can do that in your mind as well. So you will have 304 by 10, which is nothing but 30.4. Okay, so my answer, since it is, I need to put it in one decimal place, I'll put 30.4, and that will be my answer. Okay, so this is obviously one number where why 26.4? It's 30.4, isn't it? If I divide 152 by this will be my answer. Okay, I believe I can see a lot of, quite a few of you have got it correct. So I'll just go with this understanding that you have understood this one. In case any doubt, you can definitely let me know. Okay, since we have one more important topic left, so I'll just go ahead. That is standard deviation. In case any doubt, you just use the chat box to let me know. So now we are moving into one of the most important topic here, which is standard deviation. So let us understand what exactly is standard deviation. With the help of this, just a second. So with the help of this particular question, what is the standard deviation of 5 consecutive integers? So the question asks, what is the standard deviation of 5 consecutive integers? One may think, I don't know which are those integers, but actually that is not important here. Standard deviation basically talks about the spread. Now, whether I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or I take 101, 102, 103, 104, and 105, my standard deviation is not going to change. Okay, let us see this scenario. You can see this is the mean. The standard deviation formula is like this. So it's there in the course. Some of you already know it. I'll just still give you. Standard deviation is basically, you need to take square root of, you find out what is the mean. Okay, so that is the mean of each of these terms. Okay, minus each of the term. Okay, so basically mean minus I square, and then take summation of it. What do I mean by that? So you find out what is mean. Mean is 3. So you find out what is 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 square, write it down. 3 minus 2 square, write it down. 3 minus 3 square, write it down. 3 minus 4 square, write it down. 3 minus 5 square, write it down. And divide it by the number of terms. So if you have n terms, you divide it by this, and thereby you get your answer. Okay. Now, same thing, we have taken a different scenario also. Here also you have seen my expression remains same because it's about the spread. Okay, so my mean is here. It is minus 2, it is minus 1, it is 0, it is plus 1, it is plus 2. That spread remains same with respect to the mean. So with respect to mean, the spread remains same. That's why it is not going to change. Nothing is going to change here. So this is important. Same thing. Same calculations are there. So I'm not going to go now details into it. Okay. Let us think about this particular thing. What happens in arithmetic progression? Okay, an increase in AP in which the difference of any two consecutive term is 2 consists of 5 terms. What is the standard deviation of all the terms? So you have 2 for this. Exactly same way you calculate them. Okay, so it is the case 1. Case 2 is some other term. It's going to be same. So with this understanding, if I give you this question, you shouldn't take much time to calculate. Can you tell me what is the answer for this question? You can use the chat box and tell me. Yeah. My bad. Let me just edit this particular part. You are correct. It's like positive, positive odd numbers, positive, um, because otherwise it will not make sense. You are correct here. Let me just edit this particular part here. First 7. So I have got the answer. It's same. Okay, so you are correct because it's obviously pretty clear compared to when we understand that it doesn't matter. It's already about their spread. So 1, 3, 5, 7 till 13 will have the same standard deviation as 2, 4, 8, and so on. Okay. Now with this understanding, let me give you another question. Just to before that, are you guys clear that this question is what I have already explained? So can you guys confirm if I can move ahead? Can you guys please confirm if I can move ahead? Because here the first 7 integers I'm talking about, they are going to be 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and here it will be 2, 4, 8 till 14. Since the spread is 2 each, 2 each, arithmetic progression, obviously there will be no change. Okay. Let me give you one more question on this line. This is basically the same thing I discussed. Can you try this out? Try this question out. Again, the same thing. Use the chat box to tell me the answer. All right, I have got a couple of answers. I'll give 15 more seconds. Okay, yeah, you are correct. It should be 2022. Just a second. It's 2022. Yeah, it's 2022. So I just got one query here. Is that is it 2022 or 2020? It's 2022. What is the final standard deviation of the salaries of the employees in this year? So I'll just go through this particular part. It's like in 2019, this they had a standard deviation of this. Now, what happens in standard deviation is that um, if I multiply something with the standard deviation, let us take an example. Okay, so let us take a small example of 1, 2, 3. So if 1, 2, 3, what will be the standard deviation? The mean is 2, so it is 1 square plus 0 square plus 1 square, which is divided by 3. 0 square, 1 square plus 0 square plus 1 square by 3, which is root 2 by 3. Now, what happens if I just double it? So if I multiply everything by 2 and I get 2, 4 and 6. Okay. So here you can see I will get the mean will be 4. So 4 minus 2, 2 square plus 0 square plus another 2 square divided by 3. Okay. Now what is this? 2 square plus 2 square is 8. Okay. So 8 is 2 root 2 divided by 3. So my standard deviation, which was initially root 3 by 2, now it's becoming 2 root 3 by 2. So the standard deviation has doubled. So understand, whenever we take double of the term, standard deviation becomes double. If I take another 3 times, maybe 6 and 12 and 18, the standard deviation will become another 6 times. So it is going to be 6 root 2 by 3. So the standard deviation works as a multiplier. If I multiply something, standard deviation also increase by that multiplication factor. Now, since each person has a salary increase of 30%, so what will happen if each person has a salary increase? Each person has a salary cut of 30%. So the standard deviation will also drop by 30%. So the standard deviation will now become this much into, since there is a drop of 30%, so I can say 1 minus 30 by 100. So if you calculate this one, it is going to be 7,000. Okay. Now this is 7,000. Now what? In 2021, each of these employees got a raise of 10,000 ESD. So if each of them got a 10,000 ESD, now what happens? The value has increased by a number. Now you remember, if I increase the value by a number, does it change? You remember that we already showed that if I have a spread like 1, 2, 3, if the next spread is 2, 3, 4, there is no change in the spread. Since there is no change in the spread, so I need not to worry about that. Standard deviation will remain same. Standard deviation will remain same here. So when I add something or subtract something, standard deviation doesn't change. If I multiply, it changes. So now the standard deviation will become this. Next time, when I increase it by 40%, so there is a hike of 40%. So when I do it by 40%, the standard deviation will again increase by this. So it will become 40% increase 1 divided by this. If you calculate that one, it will be, sorry, it was 7,000, 9,800 USD. Okay. So standard deviation simply works as a, when there is a multiplication, standard deviation, we need to multiply. If there is an addition or something, there is no change in the standard deviation. Okay. So there is one part that I did not tell you is this, but just let me show you it to you. This is the part is like what happens in the effect of addition or subtraction on these strings happens like this. If it is median, you see what happens if a constant number k is added or subtracted from each data point of a data set, the new median will also increase by k or decrease by k. What do I mean by that? So if I say I have the mean of these three numbers as 2, if I add 5 to each of them, 6, 7 and 8, the mean will also increase by 5. If I subtract something, median will also get in that way affected. Standard deviation is not affected by this. However, if I multiply something, then the standard deviation also takes that term, and new mean and median also take that term. Okay, so it's basically, it's pretty easy to remember this. For addition and subtraction, mean and median gets this added by the same factor k, and same thing happens on the, but then standard deviation remain ineffective. But then for multiplication, everything is affected, and it is affected by that factor. Okay, so these are the things which is I like what I have told you is already there with the help of example and everything. So there is this free trial option. So definitely what you can do, you can just go through the course using the free trial option. So in case you like it, you can definitely, so there will be in the course, it will be in much more details, and there will be certain parts which I haven't covered today, is like quartile and all those things that is also covered there. So I would definitely suggest you that you go through those particular part. Free trial option, avail the free trial option in ziariwiz.com. Okay, and in case you have any doubt, you can mail to the support ID, or you can reach out to this number. So if you are outside India, you can definitely WhatsApp or call, whatever you find comfortable. You can definitely reach out to this number or send a mail to this particular email ID. And free trial, definitely you can go through this particular website, griviz.com, our website, and then register for the free trial option. So generally there is a stipulated time where you can just have the full access to the course. You can go through each and everything whatever are available to the students as well, like those who are like our students, like paid to student. You will have the similar access, so you can definitely go through it. If you like it, obviously you can go for it. Otherwise also, it's definitely, so I would definitely strongly suggest you go through it, because everything will be discussed in much more details. And obviously you must realize that the one part is not difficult as such. It's tricky. There are certain things which, if I know how to do it quickly, it will be helpful. If there are certain things, if I know how do I calculate all the different scenarios, that will be helpful. So those kind of things are discussed in the course. So definitely I would suggest that you go through it. Okay. So do you guys have any issue in the sense, any issue with any of the questions or any doubt? If not, then I'll end the session. So if you, in case you have any doubt, you can just, so I'll be mute for a minute. So in case you have any doubt, you can definitely let me know your doubt. So slide of the question, want to know. Just a second. This one. Thank you, Shiptis. Thank you. I'm glad that you liked it. Yeah. So this particular one, yes, yes. Okay. So actually, what I meant while making this question is that standard deviation of 7 consecutive integers. Okay. But then, yeah, it's, I wrote it in this way, first seven. So it, I understand in that way. It makes little. I mean, you will not know what do I mean by first 7 odd integers, because integers, this is important. What you said is important point, because when I say odd integers, negative numbers can also be odd integers. So there is nothing like first 7 odd integers. So you can go to minus infinite as well. However, having said that, even if I do not change it, still, if you just go through at any level for the first 7 integers or any 7 integers, since I say first, so they must be consecutive, it will not change. It will remain same. Okay. But I understand it will not be defined in such a scenario. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, guys. So if there is no more query, I'll end the session here now. Thanks for coming. So I'm ending the session right now. All the best. Have a great weekend.